But hundreds of years ago, St. Nicholas did exist. And while he didn't use flying reindeer, he did make some very special deliveries. Tim Branson has the story, the true story, of the real St. Nick.
Jolly old St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Have you ever wondered why we call the jolly old elf in the red suit St. Nicholas? Isn't that Santa Claus? And just who is this St. Nicholas? In 1823, Dr. Clement Clark Moore, an Episcopal clergyman, wrote a poem called A Visit from St. Nicholas to read to his children on Christmas Eve. It begins, "'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse." The poem was later published and defined the image of Santa Claus we have today. He gave Santa reindeer to pull his sleigh and a bundle of toys for filling Christmas stockings. But why did Dr. Moore refer to his jolly old elf as St. Nicholas? Well, the legend of St. Nicholas predates Moore's Santa Claus by about 1700 years. Nicholas lived in Myra, which is in modern-day Turkey. Paul himself shared the gospel with Nicholas's ancestors just 200 years earlier. Nicholas was a Christian too, and eventually became a bishop in the early church. There are many reports of Nicholas's unselfish generosity. As one story goes, a man in his hometown had 3 unmarried daughters, but he didn't have enough money for any of them to have a dowry, so the daughters couldn't get married. Nicholas had inherited some money, so one night he secretly left a bag of gold for the family. Part of the legend even says that Nicholas dropped the gold down the chimney and it landed in a stocking that had been hung up to dry by the fireplace. The father awoke and chased down the man who had left the gold to thank him. He bowed and tried to kiss Nicholas's feet, but Nicholas raised the man to his feet and told him that God alone should be thanked for the gift of gold. There are many similar stories of the generosity of St. Nicholas, particularly to children. Nicholas always insisted that no credit or thanks be given to him, but to God only. These stories and pictures of St. Nicholas and many more are from St. Nicholas, A Closer Look at Christmas by Joe Wheeler and Jim Rosenthal. The authors say that it was the story of the gold dropping down the chimney that made St. Nicholas a legend. Down through the centuries, many countries have loved and anticipated the arrival of St. Nicholas each December. They call him by many names: Santa Claus, Père Noël, Father Christmas, and of course, Santa Claus. He is often portrayed wearing bishop's robes and sometimes even a warm red suit. So, is St. Nicholas for real? Yes. Many stories and legends have grown up around this man. He's remembered today for giving to those who are in need. And as Nicholas reminded the man with 3 daughters, we should thank God for the gifts we receive, not just at Christmas, but all year long. Have a blessed Christmas.
Well, that's the real story, and we need to keep the real story in mind. Unfortunately, Santa Claus has become a symbol of commercialism, and it's been adopted around the world. And I've seen Santa Clauses from Bangkok to Beijing, and you go to at any major mall in Asia the Christmas season, and you'll find Santa Claus. You'll also find a nativity scene, which I find unusual. We don't get the privilege of erecting them in America anymore. Somebody's going to sue you for it if you put it up on public property. But they put it on public property and public spaces. But unfortunately, and this was a real eye-opener for me, they think that that is the birth of Santa Claus.
No way.
And they miss the real Christmas story. So we're doing a good job of exporting the commercialism. We're not doing a good job of exporting the real story of Christmas.
Wow.